what would you say if I said that I could bring them back?
I guess I'd say I never thought of that.
Well, alright, hold tight, you might want to stand back, because one small John is coming intact.
St. John forward, spitting out some more words, fully intact, jacked, ready to rap and attack. Small John on your lawn, living like a gnome, hit you with my lyrics like a bullet to your dome.
Tonight when he comes up here, he's either gonna kill or he's gonna suck. But there's no in between for Mr. John Forward.
Oh, well, I didn't know any of that.
Well, that's what I've been trying to say the whole time.
What I've been trying to say the whole time is welcome to another episode of St. John Forward Radio. Back live in the studio. Last week, recorded in my living room. I don't think Adam Landry's going to burst in the door this week. Maybe. Probably not, though. I was away last week in Halifax. I had some lovely work meetings. Nice to spend a couple of days with my my Nova Scotia and Newfoundland counterparts. Less fun hearing about all the new and lovely ideas coming down the pipe from upper management. If you haven't noticed, I don't much care for being told how to do things by authority figures. And, I should probably keep my mouth shut and just roll with it, but I have a hard time not pointing out the problems with these things as I see them. Try to be constructive about it, but the undiagnosed autism takes the wheel, and what I think is raising a valid concern probably sounds a whole lot like a complaint and an indication that I'm not a good team player. But I don't know. I meant to. I had plans to just behave myself, but it just doesn't feel right letting it slide. If I see injustice in the world, I'm a true superhero like that. I need to say something if it doesn't seem right to me. I also kind of, and I'm imposing this on other people for no reason, but I kind of feel responsible to point it out for my own sake, but also for the sake of the other people that are less comfortable than I am mouthing off. And also, if this is stuff that I need to bring back to New Brunswick and ask my own people to do, I want to feel like I'm not just a yes man, and that I've made my case, and we're doing the least bad version of this thing. But anyway, I mouth off, make myself look bad, and probably didn't accomplish anything, which sounds about right for a John Forward situation. But anyway, while I was in town, I got to do some comedy shows while I was down there, which I was more excited about that than the meetings. First thing I signed up for was Mega Comedy Mondays at Gus's Pub. I've been down to Nova Scotia for these meetings the last 3 years in a row, but I usually don't get down there early enough for a Monday night show. But meetings started first thing on Tuesday morning, so I got started on that. But anyway, signed up for Mega Comedy Mondays. Used to be Andrew Vaughn's show. Martin Edwards is the host now. Haven't been there in a while, so that was fun to sign up for that. Chanel Frere, a former guest on St. John Forward Radio. She saw my name on the lineup, I guess, and asked me if I wanted to do her show at the Fickle Frog, and I was in theory, yes, but I didn't want to step on any toes. I've been to shows in bigger cities where the person running the show is kind of weird about people doubling up, and personally, if somebody's booked on No Jokes Barred, I would kind of prefer that they be there for the whole show. But if they're driving from out of town, I don't mind putting somebody on early so that they can head back home and beat the weather, or they got to work the next day. Or if somebody had another set, I've accommodated people that were doing guest spots at Yuck Yucks and then coming down to No Jokes Barred. That's fine. But anyway, I don't know what the doubling up on shows in Halifax etiquette is, so I reached out to Martin and floated the idea, and the two places are like a 5-minute drive apart, so it was doable. Chanel was pretty accommodating. I didn't require a commitment. It was just, if you want to, you can show up and we'll put you on 10 minutes or more or whatever. And but yeah, no, I wanted to be able to make that commitment. So anyway, went on early at Gus's so that I could make it down to Fickle Frog afterwards, because that one started a half hour later. And so since Mega Comedy Mondays started earlier, I went down a little bit early so that I could hang out for a little bit before the show, shake some hands, say hi to some people I haven't seen in a little while, and then do a set and then head out. So I was supposed to be on later in the show, but since I was doubling up, I asked to be in the first half, so I ended up going on second, and bombed. Not it wasn't like a spectacular bomb. It was just kind of it was the worst kind of bomb, where it's just I don't know. It wasn't spectacular enough to be a good story, but just enough to shatter my confidence a little bit. Opened with an ill-advised Kobe Bryant joke that if you listen to the Brian Godso and John Scove Nielsen episode a couple weeks ago, you can hear me think of it on the air and be like, yeah, I shouldn't say that one on campus radio, and kept it to myself. Saved it up for Mega Comedy Mondays, and it did not land. Nobody got mad at me or anything, but it didn't go well. I'm not sure if they were offended or if it was just a bad joke. I followed it up with, yeah, that one should have stayed in New Brunswick, which got a minor chuckle, so I'll take it. And then went into the main part of my set, and that didn't do much to recover the situation. RF and May, you should be listening to the show, not sending messages back and forth in our group chat and distracting me while I'm trying to read my my pre-written monologue. I know this sounds like it's just off the cuff, but this is well-crafted business. So anyway, my main part of the set did not recover from the initial stink. Generally, if I go up and I get an idea for just like a one-off kind of in the night, or just a throwaway line or something, if it doesn't do well, it kind of shakes me for the rest of the set and throws me off. I don't know if that's what it was. The main part of the set was a story that I told at the last No Jokes Bard, which went really well, and I got lots of compliments. One guy in the bathroom said it was the best he'd ever seen me. So yeah, it shook me up a little bit to go from that, and then the next time I perform, it eats it. So I don't know if it's a problem with the set or if it just wasn't good for that room. There was only a smattering of audience. Nobody was really crushing it from what I saw, but I don't know. I know I did not deliver it very well either. I was kind of nervous. I hadn't been on stage in a couple of weeks, I think, and hadn't been back to not that like this is a big high pressure room or anything, but anyway, I don't know, I felt nervous and didn't work. Demoralizing, got some fist bumps. Not sure if it was just a nicety or like I know it didn't go well, but I see what you're doing there, or maybe they were making fun of me and I need to start some new comedy beefs. Who knows. I stuck around to finish my ginger ale and then slunk out of there with my tail between my legs. Did better at the Fickle Frog. A small, intimate crowd tucked away in the back of a restaurant. They liked what I did. I had kind of asked Chanel what the vibe was ahead of time. Like, do I need to be concerned about my content? And she said no. But, I wanted to do a different set anyway. Just want to do different stuff at different things. I don't get to go down there very often, so I want to put some more material through the paces. I kind of wish I had done the same set as I did at Gus's, just to see if it would have gone any better at this other place, or maybe I would have bombed twice in the same night. Who knows? Anyway, did a great crowd pleaser about my grandpa dying, and that went pretty good. I didn't really know any of the people other than Chanel that was there, so it was good to see some people that I hadn't seen before. One guy He actually enjoyed my episode about the hubcap a couple of weeks ago. I recognized him from his submission video. We talked for a minute, and he almost signed up for No Jokes Barred this weekend, and I told him it was a 5-hour drive, and he was like, oh, that's too far. I'm like, yeah, fair enough for an open mic, but, you know, if anybody's in town on the third Saturday of the month, hit me up. Nothing on Tuesday. Played some mini golf with my coworkers and got the dorkiest picture ever taken of me when I got a hole-in-one. Nice dinner afterwards, but anyway. Went to Yuck Yucks for amateur night on Wednesday. I haven't been back there since I blew it on my third night as the weekend middle act back in September 2016, which I won't get into the details. You can see a very special episode of the John Floorward show on my YouTube channel if you want to see my post-bomb reaction to that one. Anyway, decent audience for a Wednesday night, like 20 to 25 people, and I did pretty well. Not sure if any excited emails were sent to head office like, you need to book this guy again. Probably not, but I don't know. Maybe I should reach out again. I think there's different people running things. Maybe the stink's off me, but not going to get my hopes up. Only bad things come from having positive expectations in comedy. But got to do 3 shows in 2 days, and I've got some more shows coming up this month, including Comedy Time at the Five and Dime, co-hosted by my guest here, Mr. Austin Hill.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's my show, partially.
When's that? 17th?
17th, 18th, next Tuesday.
Yeah. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. That's why we book it that way. It's always Tuesdays.
Yeah, I think it's the 17th. So
17th would be a Monday. It is the 18th.
Oh.
Professional.
All right.
I was ready to go with that one.
It'll be in the show notes on the podcast. So, yeah. It's a heavy month for me. I did 3 shows in Halifax. I got No Jokes Barred this weekend. I'm doing maybe comedy in Fredericton tomorrow. Comedy Time. Doing some weird Cards Against the Humanity thing at the Grimross at the end of the month. Anyway, Austin, how you doing?
Not bad. Yourself?
Not too bad.
Excellent.
Well, let's take a quick musical break, and then we'll come back and talk to some Austin Hill. I don't have a song that fits in with what I was talking about, but I'm gonna play a song by Fat Lip from Farside that I forgot existed until last week, and I'm delighted to share it with you now. What's up, Fat Lip? On St. John Forward Radio.
Downtrodden, fresh kid turned rotten. I can't believe how naive that I've gotten. Over the years, seems like I'm getting dumber. Reminiscing to a time when I was younger with a hunker. Full of dreams, determination, self-esteem. But now it seems they hesitate to be on my team. You know the routine. When you win and they grinning all up in your face like they was with you from the beginning. But on the flip side, when you watch them like a riptide, fools clown by how you slipped and let shit slide. Besides the fact my voice is whack, clowns is running around talking about a smoke crack. Ain't got no homies that got my back. Yeah, I'm a brother, but sometimes I don't feel black. My girl is white, my game ain't tight. Niggas who ain't seen me in a while be like, dude, you alright? Who am I kidding? Who am I fooling? When they be like, what's up, Fat Lip? And I say, coolin'. Who am I kidding? Who am I fooling? When they be like, what's up, Fat Lip? And I say, coolin'. Who am I kidding? Who am I fooling? When they be like, what's up, Fat Lip? And I say, coolin'. Who am I kidding? Who am I fooling? When they be like, going like a sucker almost every day. In the back of your mind, you probably thinking I was gay. But nah, I'm just a bitch ass nigga. The type to get jacked if I was a rich ass nigga. See, I've been a loser just about all my life. Type to tryna turn a hoe to a housewife. What do you expect? I give respect and feel for a hoe niggas keep in check. I'm far from hard, emotionally scarred. On Pico Boulevard, I was regarded as a retard. I make myself sick, get on my own nerve. Immature, insecure, grown up nerd. Half-cent MC on a label that's unstable. Chopping bliggy on the table. And I say coolin'. Who am I kidding? Who am I fooling? When they be like, what's up, fat lip? And I say coolin'. Who am I kidding? Who am I fooling? When they be like, what's up, fat lip? And I say coolin'. Who am I kidding? Who am I fooling? When they be like, what's up, fat lip?
Hey man, yeah man, what's up with it? Still got it? Yeah, I've been working on my step. Hey, check this out, y'all, check this out. She keeps on. She keeps on. I still got it.
And we're back on St. John Forward Radio, joined by Austin Hill, who's overcome all of the odds and all of the homophobic slurs being lobbed at him in the comments on his Facebook when he says that he's coming on to do this show. How do you find the bravery to still come in here after that onslaught?
You got to keep going forward. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah, it is.
One day at a time.
You always have a good attitude like that, Austin. What's your secret?
Just dumb. Just running forward.
Are you really this happy all the time and smiling? Or are you hiding some deep darkness?
Oh, the constant depression. No, the energy's always there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always positive.
You got your John Forward pin on.
You like that, do you?
Yeah.
There's a subtle detail. I had to blow the dust off that one. I was like, I'm going to wear my John Forward pin.
Blow the dust off. You should be wearing it every day.
Constant rotation with all the other pins I don't wear.
Oh, did I give that to you, or were you at I sold those at the Honey Garlic show.
I went to the Honey Garlic and I paid for it.
Oh,
that was before
fan.
I think.
Did you even do stand-up yet at that point?
I don't think so. I think it was just before I started doing comedy.
Oh, that's when I still valued you as a fan. Now you've ruined it by becoming a comedian.
Yeah, I was still valuable. I'd put my money in the bucket. Now I'm just worthless.
Yeah. Well, you can book me on your show, so you still have some value to me.
As long as I can, return the favor, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Someday I'll have my own show and my own pin, but not today.
Yeah.
I'll just settle for wearing other people's.
Well, if you give me an Austin Hill pin, I'll wear it to your podcast too.
So it'll just be me. It's just gonna be a giant, just gonna be teeth. It's gonna be a smile and the thumbs up.
What happened to your, what was it? Frog something. What was it called?
Oh gosh, Plastic Frog.
Plastic Frog.
It took me a second to remind it. I am terribly motivated to keep it going. Just laziness, I guess, or
fair enough.
Life, you get distracted. There's a lot of things outside to chase.
Yeah, that's the thing about doing it here is it's harder to be lazy because I'm kind of committed to
you have to do it.
This time slot. I can anytime that I want to just send an email and tell them to throw a repeat on, but I think I've only done that once where I genuinely didn't have a new episode. Like if I know that I'm not going to be available on Monday, I'll pre-record something. I think there was once where I was sick and not prepared.
Oh, you should have came on sick. You could have acted like a hero.
I've come on with a bad cold before.
Deeper voice, St. John Forward Radio.
Yeah. Yes, we need more bass. So there's all the ladies like to sit on their speakers while they listen to this show.
No comment.
No comment.
No comment on that one.
How long have you been at this comedy game now,
This comedy
Austin?
game? I don't know. 2.5 years, I think. 2017, November.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd line up with 2.5 years, wouldn't it? That's how time works.
I think
Just below 2.5, I guess.
2.25.
2.25. I like to round up. Keep my numbers positive.
Fair enough.
We have one viewer. We have 100 viewers.
How are you feeling about it? Is it everything that you hoped it would be?
Oh, it's just the constant outlet to express my inner feelings, and then everyone thinks everything I think is funny is also funny, and that's just the reward. Yeah. No, it's more soul crushing than that, but it's a fun chase.
Yeah, it really is like a nasty drug addiction. Like there's a lot of downs, but you're always chasing those white dragons.
You get that
laughter.
one little laugh at something silly you wrote down, your thought in your head. You're like, yes, I will keep doing this. I will get more of this reward. And then the next time they just stare at you, blank faced, like a bunch of wild animals, and you're like, I should quit and never do comedy again.
Yeah, and then you see like amazing comedians like John Forward, a few years ahead of you, still getting
Oh, that's
kicked
that
in
constant
the teeth.
motivation, yeah.
Still getting kicked in the teeth. 8, 9. I don't know how long I've been doing this.
Yeah, nothing. That's what's gonna happen, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So I bombed one of the 3 last week. 2 out of 3 is not bad. It's a 66% success.
That's
rate.
a pass.
That's a pass.
That's a good ratios right there.
That's a pass. Yeah, and you know what? We're grown-ups. Nobody cares what the mark is. It's either a pass or a fail. I was telling May that she was doing a quiz for her accounting course that she's taken, and she's like, I got 17 out of 25. That's like 68%. Like, who cares? Nobody's going to ask you for your mark.
No one checks your resume. No one checks the paperwork once you get in.
Did you pass the course? Did you get the piece of paper? Yes or no? That's all that matters.
You're in.
Although I guess that doesn't really apply to comedy so much. I think there is more gradations to just a straight pass or fail.
If I could get 60 or 70% on every show, I think I'd be pretty happy with myself at this point in time.
Yeah. Have you had any big demoralizing bombs?
I was at the Hampton Legion 2 weekends ago, and I did not do that great.
Yeah.
They were not loving me.
Was it just you, or was the whole show bad?
The whole show was kind of not that great. They had a hockey game going, and we were on top of a hockey rink. And the hockey game was like live in the background.
Okay.
So you could hear everyone like scoring and cheering.
All right.
So that throws it off a little bit. But turns out, we go to a Legion, there's a bunch of senior citizens mostly there.
Yeah.
They don't really enjoy jokes about like dead babies.
Was this the same crowd that was there when you had me in headlining?
Probably a very similar crowd, yeah.
That one was okay. There wasn't a hockey game. In times like that, though, you can at least to save yourself some grief, you can, there's a hockey game, and this is in a Legion.
There's excuses.
And these people are old, but like
I'm tired. I got a headache.
The worst is when everybody else is having great sets. And
that also happened that night.
Oh yeah,
they're like, on first, Austin Hill, the local comedian. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Hampton. They're gonna love me no matter what I say. And like the first thing I throw out there, they're like, we don't like this guy very much.
Yeah.
And a smarter comedian might have won them back, but I was gun ho with my bits.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you get thrown off when like the first thing doesn't land?
Instantaneously.
Yeah.
Everything's ruined.
Yeah, that's a problem I need to work on. Like, also, probably the first thing that comes out of my mouth should not be some new thing that I thought of right before the show.
I tried doing that for a bit, and sometimes it works. It builds your confidence when it works. You're like, yeah, I think off the top of my head, man, it's funny. I'm great. And then go into your bits.
Yeah.
But then you do it and just throw yourself off.
Yeah, well, that's the intention. You want to do, like, I don't know, like, traditional knowledge would be, like, you open, like, with... not your, like, you want to close with your stronger joke, but like your second best joke should be like your first one. But I don't know, I try to I don't know, I think of something, like say something about the room, or like reference something that
do you guys like hockey?
Yeah, how about this hockey? Yeah, I probably would have said something about the hockey game.
It was in support of the food banks. Like, you guys like feeding people? Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, especially when you think, oh man, I thought of this thing and it's so funny, everybody's gonna laugh, and then it doesn't. The last set that I did at Chuckles, I think, was last January. It was on the Sean LeComber show, and Shane had just gotten a new sign like above the stage from Signs Plus for Chuckles, and it was basically just like a wooden sign that was like a picture of like their thing with like the lights around it, like they
is that the one with the emojis on it?
Yeah,
beautiful.
And I made a joke about having a sign that was just a picture of another sign, and I thought it was so clever, and then just crickets.
Yeah, thank our sponsors. It was probably half of those people inside the audience. So like,
yeah,
we did what they wanted.
Yeah, and the Kobe Bryant thing, that one, I don't know. Maybe I should try it again.
Too soon. Yeah, wait a while.
Well, no, there is no too soon with that one. If it's not too soon, then what's the point?
I guess so. I think it'll be relevant for a while.
I'm not gonna have a Kobe Bryant joke in like a year. Who cares? He'll just be a skeleton by then.
He's gonna be encrusted in gold. They'll preserve him as a national monument.
Yeah, probably.
That's how you cap off a legacy if you really want to do it right. You can't live into your old age and do more stuff wrong.
Yeah.
Go in a blaze of glory.
Yeah. And yeah, you need to get your rapes in before people were mad about that kind of thing too.
Yeah, that comes up surprisingly once you're... The second people try to like you a little bit more, your past claims comes up. Who would you think?
Yeah, and, you know, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what the situation is. All I know is there was some accusations and there was a settlement. By all accounts, he thought that it was a consensual... He misread the situation and is very apologetic and has been nothing but a good guy since then.
Yeah, I guess he had the receipts to show he was good after that, but...
Yeah. If it happened this year, I'm not sure if that same recovery.
Well, then they would have been like, people were taking bolts out of the airplane or the helicopter.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's a hot potato.
That's why are we scaring into that direction?
But yeah. Did you hear about the Ari Shaffir thing? Everybody's mad at him for his dumb thing.
Yeah, I heard about that one because he does it for when everyone dies, apparently, but.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's not like there was actually a pretty good New York Times article that a few people have shared that came out since that it was basically just a troll, which is not high art by anybody's definition, but like it did what it was supposed to do. And it's just weird how some things you just throw out and the wind is blowing the wrong way and it just gets... It should have just been a dumb thing that people looked at and be like, ooh, and tugged their collar and then moved on.
Yeah, maybe just ignore like everything else he did.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll recover. Yeah, but yeah, I don't like how just the whole career is on trial. Like, I never thought that guy was funny. He's just riding Joe Rogan's coattails. Like, I'm aware that he was on Joe Rogan, but I don't feel like he's just Joe Rogan's sidekick. Like, I feel like, I don't know, more people would know him from like This Is Not Happening. But
yeah, he's been around for a while.
Yeah, and
you didn't know who he was already.
Yeah, no, I've seen his bare penis in real life.
Wow,
it's
good for you.
At Skankfest, he had his pants down, and Louis J. Gomez was pretending that he was going to fillet him, and then at the last minute punched him in the balls.
Now that's more newsworthy. If we had some video of that,
yeah,
let's get that in the tabloids.
On YouTube. That is on
that's
YouTube.
On YouTube. Great.
Yes, it's censored, but I was there for the real deal.
I gotta see it live.
Yeah. But yeah, and stuff like that, and he recently gotten... Well, there was a thing because he did a podcast with Bert Kreischer and like dosed him with ecstasy.
That was just a smart business ploy.
He thought it was a funny joke, but you know, it was in his house and his kids were there and stuff. So that was a thing. I actually, I'm glad I got to see him perform in Portland a couple of weeks ago, which was the special that he was supposed to have been filming probably around now, which has been canceled.
Oh, good for him. So you gotta go down and see him?
I went to see it.
You did see him?
It was a few weeks ago.
I think Bert Kreischer's going to Portland here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, there's lots of good comedians that come through Portland.
Road trip.
It's a 5-hour drive, which is a tall order, and usually they're on like a Thursday night, so it requires
a little bit more difficult.
2 days off. The Ari Shaffir one was actually, they sold out the early show, so there was a late show at 10:30, so it was late enough that I could still work on Thursday and just go straight down after work. It's a long day.
Isn't that the full-time working comedian's dream?
Yeah.
I can go to work and I can see the comedians I like. Woo!
Yeah, and did some switcheroos and just traded a Friday for a Saturday and got to go down without taking
because you're the big man, right? You walk around, you're like, switching my shifts.
Well, I didn't really have to bully anybody. Hey, would you rather work a Friday instead of a Saturday? That's not a tough sell.
I guess so. You put a spin on it. You're like, I hear this Saturday's going to be raining.
Yeah, so I went down. It was a show called Ari Shaffir Jew, and it was all about Jewish stuff, and that's what presumably would have been the special, which the production company has dropped out. I think some management company that was working with him has dropped him. I'm sure his career will recover. I'm not sure if the special is ever going to get filmed. By the time everything blows over, he'll probably have something else on the
I'm
go,
sure we'll see it one way or another.
Although it's kind of a themed show, so it's probably evergreen. I imagine it'll probably see the light of day at some point. But anyway, Glad that I saw it before everybody got mad at him.
You just gotta have that now. You're like, I gotta see the Jew. No, just Jew, isn't it?
Yeah, just Jew.
Jew.
Which was delightful going through the border. What are you going to see? Jew. And, yeah, it kind of sounds racist, but it's a Jewish person, so it's okay.
It's the name of a special. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. The word Jew is weird, because it's very depends on the tone of how you say it.
The next few words you choose to use before or after, I guess that is a statement piece, yes.
Yeah. So, anyway, Kobe and Jews. I think we need a reset, Austin. You're too extreme for campus radio. All these topics.
The air can't handle me.
Do you want to tell us about the song you've selected?
It was the song that was playing on my Canadian playlist shuffle when you asked me what song I wanted.
Oh, CanCon. I'll add that extra check mark to my log sheet.
This is Canadian, yeah, and I'm pretty sure she's playing at a church in Ferriton soon.
Oh, it's a lady, too. That's another check mark. Excellent.
Boom!
Oh, man. FemCon, CanCon. What other categories do we have that might make it even better? Is it Maritimes?
I believe so. I don't know that much about her. I should know. I know she's performing in Fredericton.
We'll click on it. I think. Well, if it's Maritimes, then that's a triple whammy.
Ding, ding, ding.
Hang on. Let's pull up the old Spotify bio and see what we can find out. Bazia Boulette is a singer-songwriter who lives in Montreal, Canada. Oh. That's what everybody that isn't from the East Coast calls the East Coast of Canada.
So you're saying I got 3 points?
Yeah. Actually, when I was at Skankfest, we were talking to comedian Justin Silver, and I kind of was talking about where I was from and said how excited I was to be there because, nobody really comes out my way. Nobody usually goes past Montreal. In Canada, and he's like, no, I think we're playing Edmonton next month. Like, wrong way.
Close enough.
I think I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think he probably thought that I meant people only come to Canada if they're going for just for laughs. I don't think he meant like further east than Montreal. I think, yeah. Anyway. Tweet at Justin Silver, who doesn't know that Edmonton is not on the east coast of Canada.
Edmonton is the best coast.
Yeah.
The eastest of coasts.
So we're going to hear a quick word from Arif, I guess, and what else we got? The Probe, and then we'll hear some Bazia Boulette.
Yeah.
On St. John Forward Radio.
Y'all listen to The Probe Saturdays at 5 p.m. on local 107.3 FM, y'all.
It's probing time.
Nailed it.
Terrifying.
Nailed it.
Terrifying.
Nailed it.
Terrifying.
You're listening to 107.3 St. John Forward Radio.
Creepier.
Hi, you're listening to 107.3 St. John Forward Radio.
Nailed it.
Terrifying.
Under that burning ether that falls down on these walls, burning my arms, I've been alone. What was said by you? For every word I couldn't do, I've been uncrossed and I've been untrue. I've been the thorn, I've been the heart, but the heart of my own burned down low. The light in your verse and the shadow between, the way that I was when I used to know. If I go, what do I hold? Oh, the maid or the mother I'll be, if only the loom and a thread won't. It is work to be dancing out here tomorrow, a minute, the empty bone. This was a simple charm to keep the ones that they gave all my heart, the strength of my arms to hold you close and safe. But I kept my eyes closed, I'll never know where the shadows are these days. I stood in the room of a house divided, all and it washed away from me. It washed away from me, oh, and it washed away from me. It washed away to take my home. Burn it down low, the light in your verse and the shadow between, the way that I was when I used to know. If I go, what do I hold? All the maid, all the mother I'll be, if I live in the room and the thread of work hold. It is work to be dancing out here tomorrow and mending the empty bone. There are roses that come without seeking. There are the ones that I have to sow in your verses that I am repeating, the way that I was when I used to know.
We're back on St. John Forward Radio here with Austin Hill.
Doesn't that song just make you feel like a happy Canuck?
I liked it.
I just imagine like I could sip coffee to it, or I could find love.
It doesn't make me feel particularly warm and fuzzy about like the Canadiana of it. I don't really care where somebody's from. The song is good if it's good. I don't know. I'm not a... I just the intro song and the outro song to this show is enough to give me my 15% Canadian content required for a spoken word program, aside from like the remaining 45 minutes of beautiful original spoken word Canadian content
100%
that we're
Canadian.
providing here. But what do you think about CANCON requirements for radio stations?
I mean, in a Canadian radio.
Yeah, what do you think about the idea that, like, by law, you have to play, like, 35% Canadian content, which is the normal for non-spoken word programs?
Let's make it 100%. No.
I'm sure there are.
I like supporting Canada stuff.
Yeah.
I can't see a lot of conflict.
I see the point of it, but part of it kind of rubs me the wrong way that, like, why can't stuff just be played on its own merits?
I just want to do what I want.
Yeah.
If I want to have a German radio show here and I can't play all German music the whole time, I got to play some Canada in there.
Yeah, I wonder how that works.
Yeah,
I think there are international students here at the university that have their own shows. They must be.
That's the only way I could see it being a real problem. If they were like, I just want to play music from where I'm from, and they're like, no, you got to play music from where you're at.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Canada.
There's some leeway here because there's a fair chunk of the programming block which probably is 100% Canadian content, so I'm pretty sure the radio station's good.
Is it where it's recorded or is it where the artist is from? I wonder.
There's actually if you've ever noticed on Canadian albums they have like the MAPL symbol, so there's 4 different things, and I think you need to count as CanCon, you need to have like 2 out of the 3, so it's the music, the artist performed in, so like if it's an American person performing in Canada live, that's 1 out of 4. And L, I forget what the L stand for, but basically something about like the musician, the music, or whoever wrote it, or where it was performed, and the lyrics, or L might be lyrics. Yeah.
Lactose free.
Yeah, lactose free. Something like that. I don't know. The argument is if they didn't have those laws, then everybody would just play all American stuff and we wouldn't have a Canadian music scene, which I can't really argue with. That's kind of that would happen, but the perverse unintended consequence is that at least the commercial radio stations, they just latch on to like the 1 or 2 Canadian acts that are also popular in the States and just play the hell out of them. So
let it ride.
That's why we get inundated with every now and then like a Nickelback or an Avril Lavigne or a Celine Dion comes around.
I don't see a problem with any of that.
Yeah, but
Celine Dion speaks to my soul.
So I think without the CanCon, there might be a lot of good Canadian artists that might not have been able to have a career without, radio stations being forced at gunpoint to play their music. But also, Nickelback might not have been as popular, although they were big in the States too.
They have a fistful of whiskey.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of the same argument if you followed at all of the the Canadian comedians being pissy with the Just for Laughs radio station
Howie
on
Mandel.
Sirius FM. Yeah. Well, there's the Howie Mandel. There's they were upset that it was going to be all just basically the audio from their Just for Laughs shows that runs on the Comedy Network constantly. Which a lot of American stuff, and they would get pushed out. Part of me feels their plight because a lot of comedians make their living off of these radio royalties, but the libertarian side of me is thinking like, well, if they're coming in and retooling this radio station, it's probably because people would rather hear the American comedians. And I don't know how I feel about you guys making a living just because a radio station is legally obligated to play your albums constantly.
As someone who does comedy from Canada, I am 100% okay with this. On the slim chance that I'm going to get in there, play that, make my living.
But I feel like people are only recording albums so that they can get it played on Sirius and collect a royalty check. I don't know.
Sounds like a plan. I would do that right now.
And honestly, this is not going to be a popular opinion, but if I was to list out like my top 25 comedians, there's probably not many Canadians on the list.
Just because it's true doesn't mean you have to say it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think, and people throw in like the Norm Macdonald's, which I don't think counts. He moved to the States.
Jim Carrey,
yeah.
Mike Myers, and I just do stand-up.
Same thing. Like there are good ones like that, and like Russell Peters is. I'm not a fan, but he's like one of the biggest comedians in the world. But not within, and I don't know what it is. Part of it is, I don't know. I don't think I don't like that the only solution anybody has is laws and forcing people to listen to stuff that they don't want to listen to.
Just picking a fight for a reason. Like, I don't like this. Why? Can't.
And the problem is not with the radio station. The problem is with the general public who does not give a shit about any of us. I don't know how to change that. Forcing us onto the radio.
Our high quality comedy will change their opinion. When they hear our voices and our use of free speech, and it tingles their funny bone, they're like, I need more of those guys and girls
and
people.
There's lots of really good Canadian comedians that I'm always glad to see come, like especially when they're here. Like just seeing a live comedy show, even if it's not in my top 25 comedians, is still a good experience. So like even an okay comedian headlining punchlines is still a great experience and a fantastic night out compared to listening to my 25th favorite American comedian on an album or on YouTube or something like that.
No, seeing it live is always way better.
Yeah.
You're going to feel the emotion of the room. It kind of absorbs you.
And I feel like, you know what, let's just throw Canada as a whole under the bus. Our audiences, I don't know if they're as good as American audiences either, because... and part of it... I don't know what caused it. It might be just that it's probably Yuck Yuck's fault somehow. Just having a monopoly on that thing I think it has a way of just kind of leveling everything out and kind of keeping everything, like there are like offensive comedians, but I feel like...
Hey, the argument goes both ways. It's like, without them, there wouldn't be comedy clubs everywhere, as that there are Yuck Yucks in theory.
Yeah, I think there would be, but they would just be more in... I don't know. I don't know. Having a monopoly like that and less competition, I think, just kind of evens out the playing field in kind of a way that kind of just squashes everything to kind of the middle, where you don't have as much variety. And I don't know. I haven't been to Yuck Yucks clubs across the country. I've only been in the 2 of them. But I feel like you still need to pander to the typical, at least around here, maritime. We're going for a night out, so you can't get like too extreme. But even when you do, you've like, if Darren Frost is coming to town, it's got to be like, oh, XXX rated, be prepared.
Oh, they'll get the locals out in droves.
It should be.
We like it dirty.
Doesn't work for No Jokes Barred.
No, it does not.
Or,
no,
well,
like the exact same.
Sort of does. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe I should lean into that more and be like, the most extreme comedy show you've ever seen.
Unless the person on the show isn't that at all.
Yeah. Well, like
some of us are extreme.
Yeah, and that hurts us too, because my intention with No Jokes Barred isn't necessarily like super offensive comedy. Like, it's really just means whatever. Everything goes, including like if somebody wanted to do a clean set, it wouldn't like throw them off the show. But I don't know.
Get out.
Only Kobe jokes this Saturday at No Jokes Barred.
Oh, great.
But I don't know. I kind of, I don't know. The point of it is just kind of an anything goes, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's all offensive or anything, but I don't know. A Yuck Yucks comedian, though, I feel like at least part of them, there's some pressure to be like a pandering, like, any birthdays out there tonight? Like that kind of thing, where, I don't know, like American comedians, there's 50 different states and there's very different groups of people in them, and like every club is different, and I just feel like there's more variety in audiences, which
it's our great grandparents' fault. They should have all had 95 kids each.
Yeah,
should have had a bigger population boom. Could have more shows for us.
Yeah, so I don't know what's wrong with us, but
a lot of things.
I just listened to I'm gonna make up for all that. I just listened to Jeff Paul's album, Delightfully Dark, Canadian comedian. I believe I met him doing when I was doing a guest spot at Yuck Yucks in Halifax many years ago. Genuinely good album, not just a good for Canadian like many of the other ones that I've heard.
He's doing his best to say. Yuck Yuck still has advertisements up at TD Station.
Yeah.
Like, up till this day, or like live this weekend I was there, and there's like a Yuck Yucks ad with like the rubber chicken. And I was like, that's not ideal.
I should just change my show and call it Yuck Yucks. So I can take part in the free advertising. They probably send me a nasty email.
I imagine, that would be the start of it.
Yeah.
No jokes, Yuck Yucks.
Yeah. I kind of already, when I changed my O'Leary's one to Uptown Comedy Deluxe and changed the font so it was like red and yellow like Yuck Yucks. Didn't work though. Not enough to...
Everyone came. They were all fooled.
To save that fledgling franchise.
Boy, howdy, did we put the wool over...
So...
droves of sheep.
Anyway... when we came in, we were listening to a pre-recorded episode of Canada Land, getting a little political. You were disappointed that it wasn't live.
It was not. I thought I was going to hear that dreamy voice like pass me in the hallway.
Yeah,
I just didn't get that opportunity.
Yeah, just some professors with their Canadian politics books.
Very nice.
Yeah, there's nothing going on. It's same as I don't know, the Canadian politics scene is just as lame as the Canadian comedy scene. So much more exciting below the border.
They do it right.
Yeah. Are you... it's kind of sad that I care more about an American election than ours. Not caring more in that I have, like, a dog in the race. It's more entertaining to watch, though.
Oh, definitely more entertaining. It's always better to watch the fire of your next-door neighbor's house than the fire of your house.
What are your thoughts on the Trump impeachment, Austin? Let's get into it.
Oh, let's get deep into the Trump impeachment.
Yeah.
I think that's just going to help him get his second election going.
Oh, 100%. Were you did you cry when he was acquitted? Do you think it's as big a deal as people are making it out to be?
Probably not, but it's the news cycle. It's going to go round and round and round, and they pick their guy and love him or hate him, and you probably should lean towards hating him. They're going to do 8 years.
Yeah, no, it's for sure, and he's got no competition. There's nobody. I think the only person on the other side that even has a chance in hell at beating him is Bernie Sanders, because
he likes the youth.
Yeah, he seems to have a more enthusiastic following. He seems like he actually has some principles. I think they're dumb principles, but at least he feels a little bit more genuine than the other ones. But like the thing about the Trump impeachment is, the worst part about it is that I do not like Trump, not in the least, not 1%. But it's putting me in a position where I have to defend the guy. Like this really is a deep state coup, and I don't know. It's kind of gross that he's a bad guy and has done bad things. This stupid phone call is the least of it, though. Like, I want to know why Hunter Biden got hired by a Ukrainian energy company for $500,000 a year when he doesn't know anything about energy.
That's how a lot of things work, unfortunately, throughout history, too.
Yeah.
Let's hire this guy because X, Y, and Z. He doesn't know anything about it.
And it's just so transparent. Like, they spent the 2 years in the investigation, and, like, most of the problems that they found in the investigation was just him and his people not cooperating properly with the investigation that was... And, like, it's come out that, like, the start of the Russia thing was just based on this one Steele dossier by some guy that ended up being full of shit. And it never amounted to anything. The best they could do at the end was, I can't exonerate it. But that's not how the legal system works. It's innocent until proven guilty. You can't just say, well, I didn't prove him guilty, but I can't prove him innocent either. Wink, wink. Like,
oh, well.
Like, they were talking about, like, it's not even this other thing, and, like, somebody had a meeting with somebody, but, like, they were making it up as if, like, he was a puppet of Vladimir Putin, and who was, like, telling him, this policy you need to do, or we're going to release the tape of these Russian prostitutes peeing on you. Like, they made it sound like it was that kind of a... He was so into it that he was, like, taking orders from another country, which would have been a big deal if it was true. And then that didn't pan out, and then they're like, he made a phone call and thought about holding some stuff so that he could get some dirt on this other guy. Like, it's so stupid.
They should be wearing powdered wigs again.
Yeah.
Where they drop that.
Yeah, for sure, it was like a petty, egotistical, I want to get dirt on this guy that I might be running against 100%. But also, yeah, they probably should look into what was going on there. And I think there's also some suspicions that Ukraine might have been something to do with, like, the Russian investigation thing. And, like, if I was a president and I was dragged through an investigation for 2 years, I might like to find out how this whole thing got started. Maybe he went about it the wrong way, but everybody posting on Facebook like this, oh my god, he sold out his country. Like, no, he just did a petty, dumb Donald Trumpian kind of thing that, like, nobody should be surprised by. It's not okay, but it's not the worst thing he's done. There are people,
I've heard this song and dance before.
There are people dying because of wars that he has continued
or allowed.
And yeah, this stupid phone call, and it obviously wasn't going to work. I don't know what the end game was. It's just, but I don't know. They've turned Trump into an underdog, and I don't like the guy. I would not vote for him even if I lived in America, but you got to appreciate they came at him and he came out, and then he just keeps on talking smack. I'm like, yeah, you tried and failed. Losers.
Just all the confidence in the world. That's all you need.
But yeah, of all the things, like, and like even like Nancy Pelosi's on record saying, yeah, we thought about maybe impeaching George Bush for sending us into a war that ended up being all lies and they were actively deceiving the public, but that was no biggie. But this thing,
that happens every once in a while.
This is serious business, and it's very clearly just, I don't know. There's people talking, there's quotes from everybody involved saying, like, oh, you don't talk trash about the CIA or the FBI. They've got 6 ways from Sunday to screw you over. And I don't know. here we are. It's just a sad state of affairs. And the worst part is nobody's talking about, this terrible man doing terrible things with the power of the office of president. Like, maybe we should take away some of the power from the office instead of just throwing out this guy and hoping the next one isn't as bad.
We can't amend things. You're ridiculous.
And the other side, the Democrats, they all wanted, hey, let's add $80 billion a year to our spending and create the biggest government that the world has ever seen. And then what happens when the other team gets in there and they use that power for bad things?
Then they'll be evil.
I don't know. It's all bad. And, if they can just decide that, oh, well, people voted for the wrong guy. This is a dummy, and we hate him. We need to get him out of there. Like, they could do that to anybody down the road. And it's kind of scary. I don't know. But also entertaining. I enjoy seeing the Democrats just fail constantly. I don't know what... It's... How bad is it that that they can't beat Donald Trump, the person that everybody hates, but... they can't seem to find... I don't know.
They'll get another chance.
My secret hope is that everybody hates... enough people will hate Trump and whoever the Democrat is, and they will vote for Jacob Hornberger on the Libertarian Party.
And then Disney will buy him, and then Disney will make their own production, and then they'll get in.
No,
we'll all love it.
Big corporations love big government. Disney and Apple and Amazon.
Wait, are you saying the people that make my cartoons are secretly evil?
Everybody talks about, if we had an anarchy and libertarian, all these big corporations, like, guess who the big corporations are not donating campaign money to? Not the Libertarian Party. Anyway, that was the politics segment of the show, and we've got
I wasn't prepared.
That's fine. So we've got Comedy Time at the Five and Dime on Tuesday, February 18th. Austin's also going to be on No Jokes Barred this Saturday, the 15th at McGill's. Bunch of other people on that show too. What do you got? Anything else coming up?
I'll be on Sunday Laughterdark as well.
That's on the 23rd, Sunday, I believe. I'm also on that show. If you're listening live, I'm going to be on a comedy show at maybe something or other. I don't know what the rest of the name of the bar is. It's in Fredericton on Tuesday, the 11th. Also, the aforementioned Cards Against Humanity thing at the Grimross. It'll be interesting. We haven't quite figured out what the format is, and it's not sounding good from so far. Anyway, Austin Hill, thanks for coming in.
Always a pleasure.
This has been St. John Forward Radio every Monday night at 9 o'clock here on Local FM, johnforward.podbean.com for all the back episodes and future. Good night.